The Prime Minister calls it 4 million doses of hope after securing extra Pfizer from the UK. It came on the day New South Wales recorded 12 deaths and 1,431 new cases. Victoria's COVID numbers hit 208. The push to get vaccinated continues, but others are already looking at booster shots.
First dose of the Pfizer.
I had my second AstraZeneca.
First dose, second dose. Millions of Aussies finally giving it their best shot. And it won't be their last.
I was excited to come out today and finally know that I'm statistically getting there.
15 million people around the world have already had this, so there's 15 million guinea pigs before us.
5 months ago, I had my first jab of AstraZeneca. 3 months later, I had my second shot. And I've been feeling pretty good about myself, almost like wearing a suit of armour. But now, this.
We need to get used to being vaccinated with COVID vaccines for the future.
The booster process, which I think could start very late this year or early next year.
So why do we need a booster? Because our immunity will diminish over time. We'll need a third shot, even a fourth, and maybe more. My question is, does this rooster need a booster? And when?
You can do it now.
It's done.
You've done it?
I've done
it. Cool. There you go. Vaccinated.
I think that every rooster needs a booster, and also the old chucks too.
Margaret Bacon is 88. She's had both her AstraZeneca shots along with her neighbour and best friend, Lucille.
I'm 88, but I told my doctor I'm going to live to 104.
Margaret's question, how low will our immunity go? And will booster shots be effective against new variants? Well, if anybody should be getting booster shots, it should be people like you and me. I've got heart disease. You've got a thrombosis issue and diabetes.
Yes.
So we're both medically compromised, aren't we?
We are, yes.
Also tonight, the doctor who organised my vaccinations, Mukesh Haikerwal, former head of the AMA.
Well, this has been the joy of working the system. Every time you blink, something's changed.
We also speak to elite scientist Dr. Vanessa Bryant from the Walter and Eliza Hall Institute of Medical Research. She's studying waning immunity in vaccinated people recovering from COVID-19.
The easiest way is just to look at circulating antibodies, and we know in a normal immune response these slowly decline over time.
While Australia plays catch-up with COVID jabs, so many just getting their first dose, other countries are geared up for boosters. Israel is already doing it. The US starts in 3 weeks, and France will give 18 million people over 65 a booster shot by early next year. Now, I'm back. I've had my second AZ shot 2 months ago, so how is my immunity now?
Your immunity will be terrific. After the first shot, with AstraZeneca, you have 60–70% benefit straight away after a couple of weeks. And now, two months after your second shot, you'll be probably peak immunity, 95, 96, 97%.
Question is, what about in 6 months' time?
Like most things, immunity does tend to drop. There is some memory there. That's the whole idea of a vaccination. We don't know for just how good that is, because it's a very brand new vaccine. But what we do know is by having it, we're safe now.
Well, that's actually something we're measuring in our participants right now, and we're seeing the maintenance of pretty high levels of immunity in most people 6 to 12 months after infection and also after vaccination.
In the UK, scientists at King's College in London monitored 1.2 million people who'd received 2 doses of either Pfizer or AstraZeneca. They found Pfizer immunity dropped from 88% protection against infection to 74% up to 6 months after the second dose. AstraZeneca dropped from 77% to 67% 5 months after the second dose. The most vulnerable Brits will be given booster shots this month. Are you aware that our immunity is slowly diminishing and we will need at some stage a booster shot?
Yes. Yeah, they did tell me that.
How do you feel about that?
That's okay, yes. No effects from it, so that's good.
I've had AZ. When I get a booster, does that mean I can have Pfizer, Moderna?
I think we'll probably see a different vaccine to the first vaccine being recommended. Mix and match have been recommended in other countries already for the first and second doses, and other countries are using that, a different one for the third dose.
Because our vaccination program was late, Dr Heikewal says any waning in immunity won't be an issue until next year. In the US, they've stepped up their booster program. Instead of waiting 8 months for a third shot, it'll be available after 6 months.
The question is, will they be every 6 months? Will they be every year? Will they be every 2 years? And I think we really need the research and the real-world data to answer those questions.
Will booster shots work against any new variants?
The idea is of boosting is to boost the underlying immunity to the COVID itself, and hopefully the newer ones will be able to tackle newer strains as they come in. That's the idea of the new technology.
As if COVID wasn't complicated enough, there's another issue. It's called vaccine equity or vaccine ethics. Why should people in wealthy countries who've had 2 jabs get a booster when some poor countries can't even get supply? Margaret's response, she'd forego her third shot.
I would be willing to take that chance.
You're a grand citizen.
Thank you.
We need more people like Margaret, don't we?